Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, Never Lucky here. Today we'll be talking about the Ranger and tips you can use when you first start out with him. Alright, let's start out with the melee ability. All the Javelins have a melee ability, and while all the other ones, except the Ranger, detonate with their melee ability, the Ranger primes. Meaning when you strike a yellow health bar enemy or a red health bar enemy, you actually prime them with the electric debuff, since you're using an electric mace. This means that you can always prime enemies regardless of what you have equipped for skills. Even if you have a primer or double detonator, it doesn't really matter because you always will have the melee to prime enemies. And that will help us make some informed decisions when we actually try to make some builds. So the Ranger's combo effect is increased critical damage to the detonated target, meaning he does more damage to the enemy he hits with the combo, but it doesn't do any damage to the surrounding enemies. Therefore, the targets you want to be detonating are high health targets, bosses, mini bosses, majors, stuff that has a lot of health that can actually, and you can actually take advantage of the combo effect. Alright, let's take a look at the Ranger's skills and loadouts and my recommendations for them. The Ranger has access to all 4 elements in the game. There's fire, frost, venom, and electric primers you can use against your enemies. Well, the rest of the Javelins I think get up to 3. Up to 3 different elements. This makes the Ranger the most flexible of all the Javelins, and when it comes to the roles he can fill in a team. Let's give a couple of examples. You have your, you can be a priming god, let's say. You can go around with 2 primers plus your melee and just prime away while your teammates, assuming you're playing in a squad, while your teammates can go around and detonate those combos or those primed enemies and do AoE damage and spread the effect and generally have more of a benefit from detonating. And because the Ranger is pretty fast too, you can zip around and prime enemies. For example, you can equip a frost grenade or a fire grenade, equip the venom darts, and use your melee too, and just anything you hit is primed and ready to go. Now another build you can do is Weapon Master. You can use your support ability, Muster Point, and use venom darts, and give your squad a really good buff to their damage. Muster Point I think increases 20% damage, all damage, when you're standing in the bubble for all teammates. And then Venom Darts also increases, like the debuff is increased damage received by the debuffed enemy. So you can put down your bubble, make everybody gets in, start shooting, like let's say a boss. You prime him with your venom, and now everybody's doing like at least 40% more damage or 30% more damage to that enemy or that boss. Now the venom debuff on bosses, I'm not sure how long it lasts. From the demo we saw it doesn't last very long when you try to debuff. The bosses, the interceptors support ability that debuffs for 33% damage, that one kind of sticks. But the elements were, the enemy was very resistant, or the boss we played at the demo. Now for solo play, what I would personally recommend is to put on a double detonator, like a frag grenade with the pulse blast or the seeking missile, and whenever you need to do your combo, just prime like a large enemy with your melee and then detonate with your detonators, either the grenade or of your other. A couple more tips about the abilities. When it comes to the grenade family, the sticky grenade has the lowest cooldown. I think it's 5 seconds, when the other two or the other grenades have 7. But it is a little harder to aim. It doesn't have an area of effect, like it's a tiny the area of effect. Unless the enemies are hugging each other, you're not hitting more than one. So, but you can use it very frequently. Then there's also the pulse blast, which is probably the best detonator to use, because it has a difference when it comes to the seeking missile. Although you have to charge it to hit or to release it, you have to charge it first, where the seeking missile just you press a button, it tracks and hits. The pulse blast can actually crit if you hit a weak point. So if you let's say prime with the frost grenade, and the enemy is immobile, and then you can easily aim at a weak point, you will probably do way more damage. Not probably, certainly do more damage when you use the pulse blast than if you use the seeking missile, because you stack the combo critical damage to your natural critical damage from the skill. And also the spark beam is an ability that can critically hit, but it does not detonate. So let's move on to the Ranger's mobility and wrap this up. Alright, the Ranger is the second best or second fastest or mobile Javelin out of the 4. First, of course, is the Interceptor. And the Ranger's dash ability is quite short. He doesn't go very far. Like if you compare it to the Storm, where he teleports really far away with his dash, and then the Interceptor does a triple one and goes really, really far. The Ranger doesn't go very far with his dash. What it has going for it is that it has a very short cooldown between the times you can use it, and if you kind of interweave other moves in between, like a jump, you can actually do more than one, or reset the cooldown. So you can do, for example, jump, dash, jump again, dash again, and do a double dash that way. Or you can dash on the ground, jump, dash, and then jump and dash again, and that will give you up to 3 dashes before you have to do another action, either land and walk for just a second to reset the cooldown, or try flying. Actually, if you do those, if you do that sequence, if you do like a dash, jump, dash, and then you add flying in between, then you hit space or the button on the consoles that makes you fly, you will actually reset all the cooldowns, and you can extend your flight or extend the distance that you avoid incoming damage. That wraps up the Ranger and the tips I have for him. The game is getting released soon. It's coming out on the 15th for early access. So I'll be playing that, and we'll see what the actual build is compared to the demo. Any changes to the Javelins we'll go over. And the next Javelin I'll be doing tips on is the Storm. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.